Alright, so I did do a rant video, but it was so long to the point and multiple subjects that even when I tried to edit down in Premiere, for some reason my Premiere does not like webcam videos, so all the lip sync went out of sync with each other and it literally stopped after a certain amount of time. So I'm gonna have to shorten all of my, so I have to, like, I'm basically making all the rant parts individual videos. And, like, because the one thing I'm really against with a lot of candidates is just, like, what they're for or what they're against. And I'm listening to people, and I literally want to take them by the neck and strangle them because I listen to them and, like, they have no idea what they're talking about. And, like, they're in their 40s and stuff, and, like, I look at them, I'm like, okay, I'm 23, and I know a lot more about the history of what you're against or for and the reasons for it than you will ever understand. Because, like, I'm really getting tired of people looking at things as black and white. And especially ignoring the history. This one's going to be actually about abortion. Because, like, there's a few candidates who are pro-life, like against abortions and stuff. I'm like, hey, if you're against abortions, then don't get one. That's basically what I say. Because there are always exceptions to the rules. But yeah, I'm gonna, like, basically go on a little rant here and knowledge thing. I am sorry, but, women who are against abortions and are wanting to be illegal for abortions to be illegal, I am very, very disappointed in you for dishonoring the women who have fought so you can have the right to vote. And you're using your right to vote to no longer have control over your bodies. I am very disappointed in you. Because literally, women have only had rights for the last few decades. And all these women who have fought in the past, so you can have the right to your body, rights to your children, rights to vote and have a say in government, and you're using it so you can lose your right to control your own body? I am disappointed in you. Freaking women, especially I feel sorry for the swing girls of the 20s who went through bloody hell. And literally, I call them the feminists. They are the feminists of the 20s. Because whatever a man can do, they believed they could do. And they went out and did stuff. And they really fought. Like, they got beaten. They continued to protest even during war and got thrown in jail for it. And they still didn't get the rights to vote. I don't understand what's going through your head. Do you not understand, like, you were given this gift, something that someone else fought so hard to give to you, and you're giving it up. You're taking a step backwards. Yes, I understand people are just like, it's a baby, it should be protected, but one thing is, we don't live in a religious society. This society is not based on one religion, one opinion. This is the United States of America. Like, every person has a different opinion on what a baby is. Some cultures believe it's not a baby until it's born. Other cultures believe it's a baby when it has a heartbeat. Some cultures believe it's a baby the second it's conceived. So, literally, anything you're using trying to say it's a baby is not going to work for everyone. Because everyone has different beliefs. So, literally, you can throw that out the window. The next thing is, like, everyone's like going, well, if you don't want the kid, you can throw into adoption. Yeah. I'm very disappointed in people too, because I'm like going like, well, if you have all these unwanted, you get rid of abortion, you have all these unwanted children, where are they gonna go? Everyone's like, oh, you just give them up to adoption. You do realize it's taxpayer money that's paying for the kids in adoption, right? And right now in America alone, there's 500,000 kids in adoption, and 100,000 kids in foster care. Like, that number is most likely going to, like, double or even triple if you get rid of abortion. And where are all these kids gonna go? Like, who's gonna pay for these kids? Like, they'll need to find a way to pay for these kids. Like, are you going to be willing to give up money so these kids can get an education, get medical care that they need? Because literally, they're even in the system, like, they're not going to get everything that they need. Just like, even basics. Like, especially when you got kids who have disabilities or might have a sickness. Do you really think that they're going to get the medical attention they need in the adoption system? So where's the money going to come from? Because not only does our money pay for them, it pays for our government officials, it pays for our road work, it pays for a lot of stuff, our tax dollars. Oh yeah, also our tax dollars pay for war. Yeah. Whatever the hell's going on with that right now. Okay. So yeah, like, what's gonna happen when you get rid of adoption? Not only that, you get rid of if you get rid of adoption, if you get rid of abortion. Not only that, you get rid of abortion, you get rid of abortion clinics, which is the safest place for a person to get an abortion. It's sterile, it's safe, they're with doctors and medical conditions. Just because you make something illegal doesn't mean people aren't going to do it. I'm sorry, but kids aren't allowed to drink until they're 21, and they still get a hold of alcohol at 15. It's illegal to smoke cocaine, and like people still find a way to get a hold of it. Just because you make something illegal doesn't mean people aren't going to do it. And abortion is really serious. Like, a lot of shit can go wrong. Like, you're gonna probably see an increase of people like getting like sick or injured or something because they give themselves abortions. And when I mean give themselves abortion, I don't mean they're going to secret clinics and going for abortions. Yeah, that's probably gonna exist. But I mean like, let's see here, like using wired hangers, throwing themselves down the stairs, overdosing on drugs or pills, over drinking. Like, we're gonna see an increase of people like harming themselves because they don't want a kid. So like, I'm wondering how many people who are like against abortion have taken that into account. Not only that, but this year there was a 10-year-old who gave birth. There was a 10-year-old who gave birth. I am sorry. That is way too young for a kid to give birth, and literally this person posted it up and said, like, this 10-year-old gives me courage to have a kid. And I'm like, this 10-year-old shouldn't give you courage to have a kid at all. The first thing, when I saw the picture, the first thing was, it didn't give me courage to go ahead and start a family. First thing I thought was, who the hell raped this kid? So, like, you're going to try to tell me, like, you want to prevent, like, you make abortion illegal, but, we're in a part of the time where, like, a lot of kids are getting pregnant. A lot of kids in school, in middle school, 13-year-olds, getting pregnant. So you're going to try and tell me that a 13-year-old kid who's, like, in 8th freshman year of high school, or even a 6th grader, is not allowed to get abortion because it's illegal and they have to basically deal with the consequences? Because, I'm sorry, like, they're kids. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't understand the consequences until it happens. You think it's okay for a little kid to go ahead... Well, a little kid. Well, to me, they're still little. Like, they don't know as much as they think they know. So I'm like, you're going to see an increase of teenage pregnancies because, like, kids will, like, secretly go behind their parents' back and get abortions done. So that way their parents won't ever know. And hopefully they learn from their mistakes. But yeah, you're trying to tell me a kid should definitely go ahead, have a baby. It's like, oh, you got pregnant. Oh, too bad, you got to deal with the consequences. Here's your baby. You got to finish school still. I'm sorry, but even though it was the kid's mistake, but they're still just kids. And they need an education, especially in today's society. And they're too young to be taking care of a kid. They're still a kid themselves. They're still growing up. Let's see here. What was our part of this before? Oh yeah, abortions. Like, what about people that get raped? And what about the incest? You're gonna try to tell someone who has been raped, or even even raped by their own parents or family members, that it's completely wrong for them to get an abortion? I am sorry, but I feel like a person dealing with 9 months of a 9-month pregnancy with their, like, predator's, like, child in their stomach, like, that's gonna cause more mental trauma than an abortion. Because, like, then they gotta live with the fact that they have this thing. Because to them, like, because to them, it probably isn't even a baby. It's a thing. So yeah, like wealthy people that get raped, like and you can take that into account. Another thing I'm taking into account, like going like, well, you make abortion illegal. What about people who have like health issues and are pregnant? Like, if someone who is like in danger of actually dying because of a pregnancy, are you gonna try and tell them, too bad, you're not allowed an abortion because it's illegal? What about those people? Because like one thing people do forget, like pregnancies are dangerous. Like you can die from a pregnancy, especially if you get sick. And if you get severely sick, like doctors would like, and they don't think you'll like survive the pregnancy or go through the labor, then they'll say like you gotta get rid of the kid. Because like literally, there's only one of you, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, like you can have multiple kids. As mean as it sounds and barbarian as that sounds, it's the truth. Because like your kid hasn't grown up yet. It's a bundle of cells. You can say you're close to it and everything, and that maternal instincts. But you got to do what's best for the actual mother first before you choose what's best for the child. Especially when it's still like it hasn't even lived yet. It's not moving around. It doesn't have a personality yet. It's just a vegetable. Yeah, so it's like everyone's so yeah, like I'm listening to these people and I'm like, and I'm not hearing any of this stuff. Like what their opinions are about like what if for people who are raped, for young kids, for people who have health issues. I'm like, you want to make abortions illegal, black and white, but it's like, what about all the other consequences? Because like we will see, and not only that, like people who don't want kids, you're gonna see an increase of kids being abandoned, probably even abused, thrown in dumpsters, living on the streets, because their parents don't want them. It's like everyone like thinks the saddest thing in the world, like when they hear a baby being left in a dumpster, and I swear we probably hear about that like maybe once a month. You're gonna see an increase of that. We're definitely gonna see an increase of babies being left in dumpsters, even left to die. Like you're gonna have these parents who like don't want kids and stuff, and they could be very abusive parents, and they could hate this kid and blame this kid for everything. So you're gonna see probably a lot more child abuse, and probably a lot more children running away because they know their parents never wanted them. So it was like I look at people, I'm like, you think you're solving a problem, but you're adding on to the problems we already have that we're trying to fix now. Not only that, it's like it's a form of like abortion is a form of birth control, and that's what it is. And birth control has existed for like ever since ancient Egypt. Yeah, we lost knowledge of birth control during the Black Plague and stuff when Europeans like population dropped dramatically because of the plague, and the lords and stuff decided that they want to destroy like, all forms of birth control, all knowledge of birth control. Literally burn all the books, any kind of knowledge, even go after the midwives who had knowledge on on how certain herbs could actually give a woman an abortion. Which, to remind you, is also very early medieval times. Abortion, pregnancies were very dangerous at the time, and you had a high chance of dying during labor. So, like, an abortion back then was actually recommended if you weren't ready to have a kid. Really recommended. So, like, they destroyed all forms of birth control, and, like, birth control really didn't come back around until, I think it was, like, the 1900s is when it really started coming back around. And Margaret Sanger, I don't know how to really say her name. Sanger, well, she's from the United States, and, like, she was the first one in the United States to actually come up with a form of birth control for lower class citizens. It was basically just like you just watch your cycle and stuff, and you figure out when you're gonna be fertile, so that way you know when to not have sex. Cause like she worked in a lower class clinic, and all these women kept coming in with pregnancies, and like they didn't want to be pregnant because like they already had like 5-6 kids, and like they didn't have the income to support any more kids. They didn't want to be pregnant anymore. Like, I'm sorry, after 6-7 kids, I'm pretty sure you're sick of having babies. And like literally the government, like she had to flee from the United States to Britain because it was such a taboo and against the law. Because like yeah, birth control was against the law, and now we have the right to control our birth control and the right to control like how many kids that you want to have, the right to control when you want to decide to have a kid and stuff. Because a lot more goes into having, like everyone's like going like, oh, it's about a baby and stuff. Like no, there's so much more to this than just that. You got not only do you have the expenses to pay for just the pregnancy alone, doctor visits. Like if a family doesn't have the finances to pay for to take the one, they took the person to like the doctors to go make sure she's gonna have a healthy baby. They probably even like insurance wise, everyone's like going, oh, that's what insurance is for. I'm sorry, but a lot of insurances do suck and they don't give women good benefits for pregnancies. Like they recommend that you stay in the hospital for 3 days after you have a baby to make sure everything is healthy and working properly. Most insurance companies don't even give you, like, basically give you one night. Let's see here. Not only the pregnancy, like, where are they financially in their lives? Are they too young? Are they too old? And also, one thing also, like, everyone's like, for some reason in this country, we've become, like, shunned of stem cell research, and I'm actually for stem cell research. I will admit that, because I believe it can help save people, and people are like, going like, they're using embryonic cells and stuff. That is disgusting. That is inhumane. I'm just like, in my opinion, like if it comes from an aborted like fetus and stuff that was that young, I don't like I see like in it gets sense for stem cell research. I see that baby not dying in vain. It's being like it's contributing to something, because like those cells can be used to make a liver for a dying boy in on the opposite side of the country, or even like making a new heart, like creating a heart and stuff maybe for a father who has like 4 or 5 kids and a wife. So like I feel like people really aren't looking at all the aspects. Like yeah, I do believe killing is wrong. I do believe people who get pregnant they should deal with the consequences. But life isn't black and white, and we gotta think of other things. We gotta think of the financial state. We gotta think of where they are in their life. We also have to think of like how did they become pregnant? Because like it could have been like just a fling of the moment, like, or it could have been raped. It could have been anything. And like there's been like literally like people really before you start being for or against something, do your research. See who is going to be mostly affected by this. And women, please do not be against something that controls your body. Because I look and I am disgusted with any woman who is against abortion. Because I'm like, that is control of your body. And people fought so hard so you can have the right to your body. And you're willing to just give it up. Basically, everything those people fought for went in vain for you then, if you're willing to give it up. If you're against abortions, the one thing I just say is, don't get one. You can discourage people and your children and tell them, like, don't get abortions, but that is your own opinion. This is the United States of America. We are not one opinion. We're not one religious belief. We are multiple people with opinions and religious beliefs. So let's not forget that. Alright. DC out.